Welcome everyone for joining in on this webinar today, hosted by Telenor IoT and Xylem. My name is Niklas Agerhem with Telenor. So today we will talk about a very interesting and relevant topic. We will talk about water and specifically wastewater. So I think water is quite easy to take for granted, at least in some parts of the world. But I know for a fact that more than 50% of the global household water is not safely treated today. So it's a dimension of challenges that we see related to water when it comes to environment. So lucky for us and lucky for you, we have experts with us on this topic, and I would like to introduce our guests from Xylem, starting with Nils Irestedt. Welcome, Nils.
Thanks, Niklas. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your role in Xylem.
Yeah, so I'm a global product manager, so working with one of our key, IoT solutions for the water and wastewater industry.
And then we have also welcome Arve Haustavik from Norway, Stavanger. How are things in Norway today, Arve?
Oh, thanks, Niklas. Well, this end, thanks, and looking forward to being this webinar today with you.
And maybe you should say a little bit of word about what you do at Xylem today.
Yes, I'm working as a BDM, Business Development Manager for Norway in relation to automation, monitoring, and control. And one of the key tasks is to be prepared for tomorrow's challenges, both for customers and also internally here in Xylem.
Oh, great, excellent to have you here, and looking forward to this. I know Xylem is a very interesting company. You guys have a mission to solve water. So I was thinking maybe we should kick off with just giving a few words about Xylem for those that do not know as much about Xylem. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yes, Xylem is a leading water technology company with 17,000 employees around the world. We offer an industry-leading portfolio of solutions that fuse digital and auto-proven technologies to help solve water and smart infrastructure challenges. This gives us a responsibility and also an opportunity to solve water challenges and help create a water-secure world. We transport water to where it needs to be efficiently and safely. Our solutions pump, circulate, and boost water along its journey. Xylem then treat the water so it becomes clean. Our filtration, disinfection, and biological solutions, along with real-time quality analysis, are some of the ways we achieve this. We track and analyze data to optimize the entire water and wastewater network. And here within Xylem, we have a wide range of owned brands like Flight, Videco, and Lavara. Yeah, that's a brief summary of us.
Oh, great. I mean, it's good to get an understanding of where you are. And then you have been working for quite some years, I know, with connectivity and connecting your products, working with your solution called Advanced. So do you want to share a little bit about that and the background of what you do for your customers?
Sure. I hope you see my slide deck here because we did prepare something. And before going into the application itself, I think we just prepared something here to show you a little bit about the challenges our customers are facing. And we listed a number of them here, but there are a lot of things putting additional stress both on the customers' organizations, but also on the systems that they operate. So things like climate change is, clearly affecting them. It can be more heavy rainfall or just simply access to water for clean water purposes. Generally, in a lot of, countries, they are operating an old infrastructure, which also might have been underinvested for quite some time. On top of that, especially these days, they are challenged by rising energy prices and also an aging workforce. So they need to deal with a generation shift. So in short, our customers are facing the situation where they have to deliver the same or more with less, less or equal resources. So basically, they need to do more with less. And here I think especially connected pump smart solution can help them accomplish that. Right. And we wanted to give you this picture because I think it's really telling. This is actually what wastewater looks like. Yeah. So this is wastewater. This is one of our, key focus areas at Xylem. And we have spent, a lot of efforts at Xylem to develop, pumps that won't clog, sensors that can cope with this environment, but also control systems that can control this process efficiently. And I think, it's clear that if something is about to go wrong, you want to know about it, or if something goes wrong, you want to know it early. And here, connected products and system has a big role to play, because we don't want this in our, rivers, lakes, or maybe in your basement at home.
Good. Absolutely makes sense.
And this picture, let's take a look on where IoT comes into play. You live in a building. You're using water for a shower, cleaning, and not at least the toilet. This used water is called wastewater. A typical infrastructure setup is the wastewater goes through pipes to a small local pumping station, which then pumps the wastewater to a larger pumping station, which then pumps it to a wastewater treatment plant. Pump stations are typically located in small buildings, looking like cabins, or underground in manholes. These stations are generally not manned, and hence the importance of getting information about the operational status. That is why we connect them to IoT. And in our case, this solution is delivered by Telenor IoT.
So this is what you see, because you see these houses sometimes quite close to where you're living. Like I'm thinking about red houses, or maybe different colors. That's where you have the pumping stations, right?
Yes, that's correct. Okay. And in our case, we connect IoT using this modem. So if you look at the picture of me, I'm holding in front of me, this modem can be located almost everywhere in the world, and it has integrated SIM card who connects it to a cloud. Technicians connect the modem via cables to pumps, sensors, controllers, and other industry applications. Then the technicians switch electricity on, scan the QR code on the modem from mobile app, and then the station can be monitored and controlled remotely on a Xylem Avensor. We can also provide the data from Avensor to customers' own system using the communication standards API and OPC UA. It's a bit more technical there, but those who are working with that understand. And Nils, can you show us how this Avensor platform actually looks like?
Let me just, before we go into that, Arve, just let me will remind the audience that it's possible to put in questions here on the questions module or in the chat, and then we will see it, and I will moderate that in the end. And just for clarification, Arve, so we saw the pump there on the picture. That was the dirty pump, and then you connect that to a controller, and on the controller you stick in your modem, right? That's where yes, the service technician connected. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, and now we're looking at the application, Avensor application.
Yeah, we thought it was good to just give everybody sort of, an understanding of, we've seen how our gateway looks to connect a pumping station, a controller to get the data. And this is the cloud application where we give access to the customer, to see their stations and their data basically. So I'm logged in to this is live. We have a couple of sites in our lab, but a few real stations that we can show. So right now I'm showing like a dashboard, this is what the customer will see. He will see his connected assets or stations in the application, and gives him a good overview of the health and status of his stations. You can see them on the map, see the alarms, active alarms, history, etc. This will be a quick demo, so I will not show all the features, obviously, in this application. We can go into, we'll start to go deeper and dig down into the particular sites and stations, and you can also see, alarms on a high level and have some administration functions. If we go to the stations, here we have a list of the connected stations in this demo account, and you can sort them in various ways. You can see which devices are connected. You can see if there are any alarms or even any updates available for these stations. It's also useful for the customer to get some insight on the stations, which one are operating fine, which are not operating fine, maybe getting some understanding of the data. So for example, maybe it's interesting to know which station are generating most alarms, so you can try to work with that station to reduce the workload of the technicians. We will go into one specific station here to see a little bit more. So then you have another overview. So this gives you a very good understanding of this particular, pumping station that happens to be my pumping station inside an apartment building. Sorry, my Windows. And you can see where it's located. You can see if it's running, how much it runs, and you can see a good overview here. You have your alarms, no active alarm, which is a good thing, but you can also have alarm history. We collect key operational data that you can use, compare different data set and understand things here like energy consumption, how much it utilized, and we have some special functions that we have deployed in the cloud that helps you understand if your pumps are losing capacity, getting worn, for example. On the device level, we can also you also have links to up-to-date asset documentation, understand your updates, etc. And for our key systems, we also visualize them in an easy configurable way. So you can, this is displaying a wet well wastewater pumping station here, but you can easily configure it to show exactly how your system looks like, adding inlet pipes, buffer tanks, or also the duct we have. Or if there are certain data points that you're interested in, you can quickly, easily select them from this list and just add them up here. So that was a short demo. There are some more films and videos that's available on our website and YouTube if you want to see more about this functionality.
Very cool. It looks fantastic. And now you can also be no alarms at home, so that is a good thing as well, right? It's working.
I'm comfortable being at the office now. So.
Everything seems to be frozen in Stockholm at this stage, so.
Oh yeah, exactly. A little bit of snow and then everything stops. And so this you're using, now we looked at wastewater pumps, right? But are you using this for other, Xylem does a lot of stuff, right? Other applications as well besides the wastewater pumps?
Yes, Sensor can be connected to almost everything that the customers have. In our case, it's typically different sensors, pumps, and equipment for treating water, like UV systems and blowers, but it can connect to almost everything in industry applications. Yeah.
So then we have this solution, and your customers are using the solution. Is it a good time to come into sort of what do they experience or get? I know you have a little bit of things prepared there as well.
Yeah.
The values or benefit that they are now experiencing utilizing this solution.
Yeah, so I think one of the key benefits that we have focused on developing Avensor, that's been the simplicity of the whole solution. So very easy to connect, big focus on also mobile application, get the data and having easy access to the data. And ultimately what we think customers are benefiting from here is number one, a reduction in planned inspection. If you have limited data or no data at all, customers will generally visit their stations much more often just to check up on things. And we know that it can be reduced 50% or more just having access to data, maintenance predictions, and alarms. So that is a key benefit. I think secondly is the potential to have increased first-time fix rate. So if you don't really understand what has gone wrong, you can, in your station, you will not come, prepared to do the job. You will not have the right, parts, tools, or even the competence to solve the issue. So that's an area where we can deliver a lot of data and insight to the actual issues. The technician can come prepared. But also importantly, if you just get an alarm maybe during night or during weekends, if you can go into Avensor here and really understand if this is the operation stopped or it's just partially affected, maybe you can turn that emergency call out to a planned job instead. That's much better for any service organization. And ultimately, reduce the risk of downtime is of course the key. And like the fourth bullet here is also the more you understand of your population of the assets, which one are consuming most energy or most energy efficient, least energy efficient, or causing you the most number of alarms and call outs. You can use this data also when planning your investment. So you try to address the pump stations or upgrade the pump station that has most potential for savings in order to reach an organization's key KPIs basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but absolutely makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but it makes sense, and it's sort of a mix. You can reduce the cost, but also getting a better experience for your customer doing this. Do you want to share something related to I don't know how customers are utilizing this in practice? Where do we see them? Any specific case
yes,
to highlight?
I can take that one. I can use an example from a customer I talked with recently. Some of their stations were not connected previously, and to connect the stations were not remote controlled. So they therefore had to drive to the stations to check if it was working fine and to operate it and so on. It's a lot of hassle related to it for him as a manager, and it comes down to it's time consuming and expensive, thinking about man hours especially. So they basically had to do something, because nowadays we have to do more with less. In this case, he thought it would be an expensive upgrade for stations and complex and time consuming with like installations of automation cabinets and so on. So yeah, we introduced him to our IoT solution, Xylem Inc, which is affordable. That's quite popular in the municipality sector, and this solution here is actually plug and play, and that is really appreciated. it also means that a lot of technicians can work with it. It's not a sort of high engineer level setup. The customer reminds me on that his stations must be prepared and running 24/7 all year. It's really important. And he says that the customer, though, in this case, that his staff, they can relax more outside business hours and not at least not be disturbed during alarms and so on while they are doing other work duties. And it has also led to that they can reduce their physical station visits by, let's say, approximately 50%. And if we see in the big picture here, like saving the world and so on, the emissions that are reduced is a really important goal for the customer and also, of course, us in Xylem.
Only remains to thank for this webinar. Thank you everyone for joining in, and thank you specifically to Arve and Nils for taking us with you on this journey. Super exciting to learn more about that. Then I see here, if you would like more information from Avensor or Telenor, please have a look into this website or contact us. We are happy to answer more questions. So with that, thank you, Arve, Nils, great job, and thanks everyone.
Thank you, Niklas.
Thank you.
Have a really nice day, everyone.